My name is Clay Toomey. I'm from Forney, Texas. My life kind of felt stale, and I wanted to pursue things that excited me. And so there were really no limits to what kind of excitement I wanted to get after.
I used to be a bank robber, and I served some time in prison. And yes, sir.
I was actually a very arrogant person. I thought I was it. And a lot of that arrogance manifested itself in the bank robbery. Somehow I'm getting away with it. So it fed into my ego, and there was a lot of that going on. But there was also that self-loathing type of thing where I had just resigned my life to failure at that point. When my son was born, it just had no appeal to me anymore. There was no joy, there was no excitement, there was no thrill. I was like, you know what? I got a 2-month-old baby who has a daddy robbing banks, and it's absurd. I finally called the police, and I told them I have some information regarding a bank robbery, and I said, well, I'd like to turn myself in, I guess. I don't know what you want me to do. He said, well, where are you at? I was at a hotel. He said, don't leave, we'll come. And about 45 minutes later, the SWAT team came and took me to jail. And when I went to sleep in that grimy jail cell with no blankets, and it was just dirty, I experienced a peace that was unlike anything that I had experienced before that. And when I woke up the next morning, it was my first day to wake up. Sorry. So the first day that I woke up in jail was the first time that I had ever experienced freedom, because all the stuff that I had done to ruin my life was officially behind me. And that was the start of something new. When you're in that environment where you have no responsibilities and you can just work on yourself, then you can really focus on what needs to change. And by the time I got out, a little over 3 years later, I hit the ground running. I had a job within 48 hours. I was working in the oil fields out in West Texas. I was in a truck, just a pickup truck, driving around all day delivering parts to our rigs. I like to listen to talk radio, flipping through the station.
Baby step number 2 is the debt snowball in the way.
And just by chance, I heard Dave's voice answering a phone call, and the typical better than I deserve type of thing. And it just sounded like a positive show. And to me, everything that Dave said was just completely logical. I don't really have a lot of debt. And I started thinking, well, I have, the restitution from robbing the banks. I have to pay that back. I guess that's debt. I started kind of mentally going through the debts that I had, and next thing you know, I do owe a lot of money. I owe like $40-something thousand worth of debt. And from that point forward, it was overtime, and it was all that money was just going to debt, and getting rid of it. To me, debt is just a different type of prison.
The last thing I paid off was the restitution. That was actually just Friday.
Wow.
Yeah, the last little chunk of that was down in the courthouse in downtown Dallas at the Federal Building down there.
This is the place where I was arraigned, where I was sentenced, and also where I paid off the last of my restitution.
Took them their money order, and that was it.
My criminal stuff was behind me, and there was nothing that attached my future to my past.
A portion of the past that really needs to be left in the past is over?
Oh, buddy, you have no idea.
I bet.
I mean, when I left the 14th floor there, and I don't want to exaggerate, but to say that it's the same as the day that I got out of prison is how I felt when I got in the button and I pushed 1 on the elevator to get out of that place, and I was done. And that was it, man. My past was in the past, and I didn't know anybody anymore. And that was the end of it.
It's a big deal for my 2 boys to understand that debt is a bad thing. And what's the easiest chore that you have?
Put away groceries.
To teach him how to manage his money and how to be responsible, because my view on money was horrible. And I didn't know anything about how to manage finances properly until I started listening to the show.
Count it down. Let's hear a great debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1, I'm debt free!
Oh my gosh. Absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome.